Hello, folks. Hunter here. I will tell a few more of these little short stories. A lot of these aren't funny, but they're interesting, so I think y'all might enjoy them. Some of my experiences in life, my family. After Camille, I lost my fishing camp down in Pasture Harbor, and I wasn't making enough money in the fire department to even think about living on. So I told the wife, I said, I'm going to just go work at Ingalls. So I went down to Ingalls, hired on, and it was a 2.5 hour drive from Pasture Chan to go where Ingalls was because Highway 90 was tore up so bad. You had to go in and out around all of them, tore up concrete and stuff. And I'd done that for about, I'm going to say 4.5, 5 months. And the government give people some house trailers, real nice house trailers, if you lost everything. Well, me and the wife, all we had was the clothes on our back the next morning after Camille. And they were pretty well torn. I was torn to shreds. So we got the government trailer, and we moved it to Ocean Springs on Highway 90, so I'll be closer to work. Well, I didn't mind working down at Ingalls at all. I worked at a night shift. I was working on nuclear submarines. And we were still having a lot of fun together. I was newly married. I hadn't been married that long. We still had enough money where we could go and do things. And I can remember going to the grocery store, and for $25, it'd take me and her both to tote all the bags of groceries out to the car. Great big old chunk steaks and big old slices of ham steaks. I mean, it was cheap living back then. Wasn't making that much money. I remember when I got out of the Navy, my ambition was to make $100 a week. It took about 3 years before I started making $100 a week. That ain't clear. I'm talking about gross. And I thought I was rich at $100 a week gross. Now, if you don't make more than $100 a day, you ain't living. Anyway, we moved the trailer down there to Ocean Springs, and we were living there. And we decided we'd buy us a piece of land over toward the Alabama line, area called Forts Lake, because I got hired on at Chevron. And at that time, you hired on, it was called Chevron, Standard Oil. You got hired on Standard Oil, you had the cream of the crop job. And the money was good. It was a fantastic job. So we bought some land out there at Forts Lake. And I've always been the type that, I try to do everything myself. Well, I had to put down a field drain line and a septic tank. Well, I put down a 1,000-gallon tank and 150-foot, 4-foot wide, 4-foot deep fill line with a shovel. When I got down about 5 foot deep in that septic tank hole, I come upon a big old lighter stump right in the middle of that hole. It took me 5 days to dig that stump up and get it out of the hole. Then I went to hauling oyster shells. Back then, that's what everybody used. Their field drain line was oyster shells instead of gravel. I went to hauling oyster shells from Biloxi. I had a long wheelbase, old Ford. I hauled 25 long wheelbase truckloads of oyster shells from Biloxi to Forts Lake to put in my field drain line. I never had a minute's trouble with that septic tank the whole time I lived there. All right, I'm going to take a little break, and I'll check up with Jones in just a few minutes. Let me catch my breath here and kind of look at my notes. I'll be right back with you. Okay, I'll tell you that we really made good money out there at Standard Oil. I was clearing about $130 a week. That was a good bit of money back then. Me and my wife, we was living a good life. We was having a good time. We decided to sell the trailer, and we had a house built. Well, we've been trying for about 8 years to have a baby. Just couldn't have one. And you've always heard the old saying, if you can't have a child, get in debt and build a house, and your wife get pregnant. Well, guess what? 4 months after we built the house, I come home one day, she walked out and what said, I'm pregnant. That was one of the happiest days of my life, other than when we and her got married. So I worked out at Chevron for 16 years, and they offered early retirement. Well, I'm getting ahead of myself. In 1981, my back was in pretty bad shape. So I had to go to Tulane Hospital over in New Orleans. They took bones out of both hips and fused my back together. I had 4 vertebrae fused together. Well, the type of work I'd done out of Chevron was pretty hard work, big, heavy equipment and all. standing on my feet a lot in the machine shop. It's hard work. It was hard on me with my back. So they offered early retirement in I'm pretty sure it was 1986. Well, I had a shrimp boat, and it was all paid for. And I told the wife, I think what I'll do, I think I'll just go ahead and take that money. It offers a pretty good little bonus to take that retirement. I said, we'll invest it, and I'll shrimp for a living. She was off for that, because she was ready for me to get out of this. It was killing me. I got the way I couldn't even get around anymore on my back. So I went to shrimping for a living. And let me tell you what, folks, I love to shrimp. I come from a shrimping family. My white daddy was a shrimper. I mean, that's why I got salt water in my veins. Nothing is more beautiful than be out there at night and the water be still, look up the sky, and the stars look like you can reach up and touch them. And I've done that for about 5-6 years. Made a good living at it. Then, the wisdom of the government. They come out with what they call a TED, a turtle extractor. You had to put it in your net if you was going to shrimp. Well, that's fine. You can shrimp it where it's good, clean bottom. But a lot of the places where I shrimp had grass. And you got these bars in here, and it's open at the top. So if a turtle hit that, he go right out of the top of the net instead of going back into the tail. Well, so did all your flounders and crabs. And if the grass plugged the bars up, guess what? Your shrimp and everything went out too. So I'm going to sell my boat. I'm not going to do it because I thought it was a bunch of crap in the first place. So I sold my boat, and I went to work in construction all over the United States. I think I had like 11 different states I had W-2 forms in. Now, I made some fantastic money. I've worked as much as 106 hours a week. But everything over 40 was overtime. But I didn't have time to enjoy my family, so I had to give it up. Well, I'm going to go ahead and cut this short and see y'all later, folks.